Hello there, this is Strawberry Ink, and I'm your host, Santiago. I hope that my Jewish buddies had a nice Hanukkah. I certainly did. It was a pretty peaceful one. And now I am getting ready for Christmas. On November 1st, 2007, 9-year-old Rowan Ford disappeared from her home in Stella, Missouri. Rowan, a fourth grade student, was last seen inside her house before she vanished. When her mother, Colleen Monson, returned home and couldn't find her, she immediately reported her missing, as, despite having looked for her, she was nowhere to be found. Police and soon the FBI launched a massive search across rural southwest Missouri, operating under increasing suspicion that Rowan's disappearance involved foul play. 6 days later, the search came to a tragic end. Rowan's body was found in a cave in rural McDonald County. She was nude from the waist down, wearing only one sock, and partially covered with leaves and debris. The McDonald County Coroner's Office determined her cause of death as murder by strangulation. Injuries to her vaginal area confirmed that listener discretion is advised for the next part, but she had been raped before being killed. Following extensive police interviews, two suspects were captured. 25-year-old David Wesley Spears, Rowan's stepfather, and 32-year-old Christopher Leroy Collins, who was close friends with the stepfather. Collins had lived with the family for several months earlier in 2007, sleeping in the basement. Rowan linked him and called him Uncle Chris, and Collins later admitted that he grew fond of her. He moved back to his family's farm in Wheaton, Missouri, living in a travel trailer. At the time of his arrest, Collins was separated from his wife and had 3 children living in Arkansas. According to investigators, both made incriminating statements when trying to clear things up. Collins confessed that he adopted Rowan from her home after a night of heavy drinking, took her to his trailer, raped her, and strangled her with a coil of chicken house rope when she recognized him. Spears also made statements implicating himself and reportedly helped lead police to Rowan's body. As Rowan's mom had let the police into the properties, the police was able to arrest both, though Collins later disputed parts of his confession. But prosecutors in the county still concluded that he played a role in the crime. Police officially identified 2 suspects total. On November 13th, 2007, visitation for Rowan was held at the Clark Funeral Home in Neosho. The following day, a memorial service took place at the Gospel Lighthouse Church, also in the same town. Rowan was laid to rest at the Macedonia Cemetery of Stella, Missouri. Christopher Collings was arrested on November 9th, 2007, when investigators raided his trailer in the woods of Wheaton. Collins attempted to approach officers calmly and offered an explanation, but they were not buying it. He was immediately handcuffed and taken to the Barbie County Jail, where he was questioned by investigators. David Spears arrived at the Barbie County Sheriff's headquarters to give an interview. During that interview, officers placed him in handcuffs and formally arrested him. He had gone in there to clear things up and tamper. He was transported to the Newton County Jail for housing. Both suspects appeared in court the same day as Rowan's visitation at the Barbie County Associate Circuit Court before Associate Judge Carrie Cups. Judge Cups read the charges: first-degree murder, forcible rape, and forcible sodomy. She ordered both of them to remain in jail without bond and directed prosecutors to present the case to a grand jury for a formal indictment confirming the charges. The grand jury returned indictments with very different outcomes for the two defendants. For Collings, first-degree murder was upgraded to capital murder. Sodomy was converted to kidnapping. An additional count of armed criminal action was added. All charges would be felonies and up. Prosecutor David Clark announced that the state of Missouri would seek the death penalty against Collings. The grand jury dismissed the original murder, rape, and sodomy charges. Instead, he was charged with endangerment and false report. Clark chose not to pursue any higher charges against Spears. Due to the complexity and severity of the case, both obtained private defense attorneys funded by the state. John Herndon and Kimberly Dellinger, who had been working for both. Both defendants were arraigned in the Barbie County Circuit Court before Judge Mary Sheffield. They entered not guilty pleas to the charges. But on September 26, 2012, David Spears reached a plea deal with prosecutors. He pleaded guilty to endangerment and false report. Judge Mary Sheffield sentenced him to 11 years in prison with credit for time served. By entering that plea, Spears waived nearly all rights to appeal. He was processed at the Missouri Inmate Reception Center of Bonnie Terry and was later assigned to the Jefferson City Correctional Center, where he served the remainder of his sentence. He was released in 2015 after serving roughly 7 years. Because of pretrial publicity, Collins' trial was moved to Phelps County Circuit Court. He was transferred to the Phelps County Jail during the proceedings. His defense presented mental health mitigation, including evidence of disorganized dissociative attachment disorder, intermittent explosive disorder. These were used for sentence mitigation, not as an insanity defense. The trial began on March 12, 2012. On the 20th day of that month, he was found guilty of murder. Then it was time for the penalty phase. And on the 23rd day, the jury recommended death after just 48 minutes of deliberation. Then on May 11th that year, Judge Mary Sheffield, back in Berry County, sentenced him, confirming that death penalty. Judge Sheffield denied all post-trial motions, including the request for a new trial. From there, Collins' appeals continued. On August 19, 2014, the Missouri Supreme Court affirmed his conviction and death sentence. Judge George Draper III participated in this process. Collins filed federal habeas corpus petitions, handled by Judge Douglas Harpool in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Missouri, Springfield Division. The relief was denied, though. Collins sought review, but the Supreme Court of the United States denied to hear it on April 1st, 2024, ironically, on April Fool's Day. Governor Mike Parson denied clemency and no appellate institute intervened on his behalf. After sentencing, Collins was processed at the Missouri Inmate Reception Center of Bonnie Terry, just like his co-defendant. But on his hand, he was admitted into a different facility, the Potosi Correctional Center, which houses Missouri's death row inmates. As his execution date approached, he was moved back to the facility where Missouri carries out executions, the Eastern Receptional Center of Bonnie Terry. He was executed on December 3rd, 2024 at 6:10 p.m. in Bonnie Terry. His final statement was, "Right or wrong, I accept this situation for what it is. To anyone that I have hurt in this life, I am sorry. I hope that you are able to get closure and move on. You are in my prayers, and I hope to see you in heaven one day. Collings was executed by lethal injection and pronounced dead right on that deathbed. Thank you for listening. Take care. May those affected rest in peace and have a good rest of your day.